Hey guys, Nolen and Jason here with HVAC Webmasters.
Howdy.
Today's topic is help. My HVAC map ranking dropped and I can't get back up. So
We're dating ourselves with that reference.
my wife
Anybody
actually
young?
said, yeah, that's great for anybody over 50.
any young person reading this, what the hell are they talking about?
I think most people, the younger generation sees this crap like regurgitated on like
As
memes and TikTok
stuff like
and
that.
bullshit. And so then they know what it is. But I say anybody over 35 knows what it is. Probably. Yeah. Help up falling, can't get up. It was.
We're just making ourselves.
Wasn't
feel
it a
bad.
life alert?
Yeah, it was the life alert bracelet.
Or
Help,
the pendant.
I'm falling.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the original was the pendant. It was you had to have it around your neck and you had
If
it.
you want a Debbie Downer on this, what they didn't tell you is that 2/3 of people over 65 that fall down and break their hip die anyway. So yeah, within 6 months. So somebody comes and gets you, but then you die. So, anyway, horrible stuff. All right, so let's talk about map rankings. You know, I just heard that statistic.
So now we've made the metaphor: if your ranking falls, you're out of business in 6 months.
Well, luckily
but we can stop that from happening.
Luckily, their hip, hasn't broken. But I mean, as far as the map ranking, there's a lot of built-in stuff here that is wrong. For one thing, people see a map ranking or a keywords or a set of keywords that they think they have, and just merely someone like attributing certain keywords to the map ranking already tells me that they're in a category where they could fall in ranking.
Right.
Because they're not worried about their overall health of their brand. Most people are looking for just a few keywords, AC repair, HVAC company, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But since
Everybody focuses on the primaries.
they focus on the primaries and they focus on reviews, which is the reason the map falls out of favor.
Yeah.
And so the map falls, or they get up there and go, well, that guy's up there and I don't know how he did it. Or all the false narratives start like, well, he pays a fortune. Or he he's been around. Like he has drinks.
Well, he's the biggest in town.
Yeah, those
He's
Google
bribing Google. I heard that one once.
Did you? He's bribing Google.
It's like, what do you think? They have a Dropbox?
I don't think so, man. I mean, how much money would it cost to get those guys,
even on the phone.
to jeopardize the entire structure, the entire basis for their cash flow?
Yeah.
To let some sap get up and rank. I mean, seriously, they're not even like.
You want to give me some rank in there?
I was like, just walk by the street, Sergey walks by you, slipping $500. You're ready to go.
Slipping
Sergey
$5.
Sergey could walk down a street that was like 10 miles long, and people just like. But when he got to the end of the road, all the media would have it, and then Google would tank.
And then that would be the end.
Yeah, I was like, well, I collected 25 million, but I'm out of business. I lost 250 billion.
Yeah.
So there's not a conspiracy of it. It's not a question really. It has to do with their branded signaling. And when the branded signaling is poor or one-sided or not tended to, then people tend to drop in rankings. A guy that just popped to my mind, we have a client that's a contractor, and his brother was a painter. We don't work with many painters really from a contractor standpoint, but I'm like, I'll call him. Yeah. And the conversation went, and the guy picked up the phone. Listen, I'm not an ageist or any of this crap, but this guy you could tell he was older on the phone.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I used to be up there ranking all the time, never had a problem with anything. He had the kind of that voice going. And I'm like, well, let me take a look at your website. His website hadn't been changed in like 17 years. It was up in map ranking. And this was back last year after the Google Helpful.
I think I remember this, yeah.
Yeah, so the other guy's our client. He's getting going. And he called me and said, how'd it go with my brother? And I said, well, I told him what he needed to do, but he wasn't really interested. And what that means is the guy hadn't ever paid attention to it, hadn't paid any money for it, hadn't done anything. He had just been up in ranking and kind of moved around and done jobs and gotten phone calls.
He put up a website once upon a time.
Yeah.
Got up in ranking largely accidentally because no one else was fighting for it.
Yeah.
And didn't realize that the situation had changed and he had to fight for it to keep it.
Well, it had been like this a long time, like lack of signaling, and finally it just got so old. They're like, look, bro, your website your branded signaling coming in is so poor, we can't show you this to anybody. And his website dropped. He didn't have an SSL. I mean, he didn't have anything. And it was stagnant for so long that he said, well, how long to get it back up there? And I said, I'm going to tell you mainly bad news here. That your website's been stagnant. And he had like broken style sheet and shit going on and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, his website was messed up and it looked like it was 20 years old. I said, it's been dead for so long and you have so few reviews that, in my opinion, they think you're out of business. And even if we go in here and start fighting, I think you're starting over at square one. You've been so negligent with your online web presence that I don't think this is going to be fixable in any reasonable length of time. And we're a good deal, but since he never paid anything, he thinks anything. Plus, he's looking at 50 cents for movies and a hot dog from in his brain. I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. I mean, frankly, stuff looks like 50 cents for movies and a hot dog post 2019.
Yeah.
So I mean, most things today, when you look at it, you're like, I mean, I bought a bag of grapes. I wanted organic grapes because they're on the dirty dozen.
Yeah.
And it's like $13, freaking bag of grapes. But you either buy the grapes or you don't freaking buy the grapes.
Or you don't have any grapes.
Yeah. Or you don't have any grapes. So, but I mean, a lot of shit's that way, when you go get stuff now. But we're still the best deal there is. But the price went up post 2020.
Yeah.
And it hadn't for a long time, but we didn't have much inflation. So anyway, this guy never paid anything. But somebody relied on it. On a couple of signals is the main problem. They're not getting a variety of things. And people hear this, and unless you really begin to let it sink in, it just kind of brazes over. And if an HVAC company owner doesn't heed this and actually do something about it, and we'll talk about some things you can do, but if they don't do something about it, they're just not going to have the signaling. Throwing up a website and trying to get a few more reviews is not enough.
Yeah, not really. I wanted to make a point. I don't think I've made this point before. In the title, you mentioned map ranking.
Right.
Now, obviously, you can look at the map display and see where you're appearing on it, but technically speaking, there's no such thing as map ranking.
Yeah.
There is organic ranking, and the map 3-pack is one of the ways in which it is displayed.
Right.
And that's it. It's actually connected to all the other but it's one.
Explain that another way or two, because my brain just kind of went mush.
Your business,
or I know everyone's brain went. I know what you're talking about.
Is ranked against every possible keyword search based on like 1,000 different factors, and there's multiple ways on the search results page that they will display that.
Right.
One of that's ads, which obviously let's forget about that because that's not part of organic. But the first part of organic is the map pack. But you're not ranked differently for your map.
But it's my map, and I get reviews, and it shows up, Jason.
Yeah, because, okay, if that's true.
You didn't do anything to help me with it. I don't want to hear your crap and get charged for it.
I've heard that, actually.
Yeah.
I've actually had people say almost verbatim.
This is what people think, though. So go ahead. This is what 90% of contractors think. And this is where you'll get a competitive edge if you're actually reasonable and sane and logical. So
you don't have that map ranking just because you have a Google business profile or just because you have a bunch of reviews. They don't know where to rank you for all those keywords unless your Google business profile is filled out properly and you have a good website. And so when you see the map pack, what that is they're looking at everything available to them and they're putting you up there in that plum spot because you've done everything that they want. Or put a better way, you've done more than your competitor. If you don't have many competitors or all your competitors are asleep at the wheel, you can show up there with just a
like the
GBP
painter
and some
did for a long
reviews.
time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But as soon as you have a competitor who gives Google more, they're going to pop him above you.
Right.
So when you're talking about ranking on search results, you got that map pack, you have the sidebar, the knowledge graph, which can, if you really got it going on, that can feature your business. That can be the knowledge graph for your business, have your photos, your map location, show your reviews, show all the information someone needs to call you or contact you right there. It can have an FAQ, it can have all kinds of stuff.
And it's related to your whole branded digital web presence, your website changes, updates.
Yeah, that doesn't show up without the website either.
Right.
You're not, the only way you're going to get mapping and the knowledge graph to show up in most cases without a website is if someone searches your business name.
Yeah.
But everything else, you've got to give Google a lot more.
Yeah. So this is kind of one of those things where you need to stop and say, my name's Joe HVAC, and I used to think that my ranking on mapping was due to me and my reviews only. I now
we love you, Joe.
I know, yeah, we love you, Joe. I now realize that's not true, and if I don't come to speed on my overall health of my digital brand and give branded signaling in a myriad of ways regularly, that I will not do good on Google. And then I also, Joe, understand that that all my false narratives that I came up with why other people are up there are not true, and that I need to fight for my brand and do some reasonable things. And I also realize that it's reasonable for Google to ask for these things so that they provide a good search result for the Google user.
Right.
And if I haven't provided a good platform for the user, I won't show up in rankings. So somebody needs to come to that point.
Right.
And then realize
the first step is admitting you have a problem.
Yeah. So they really do, though, because before this, people can make up crap, come up with things, say they don't have to pay for professional services. More people are starting. I don't know if, I feel like, all the time we're more structured and more professional. We have all kinds of cool stuff. We have patent pending software now.
Yes, we do.
We have patent pending software for data pens, pretty cool stuff. Does a lot of unique things for a multitude of branded digital signaling for the contractor, so that they're not just one-sided.
Right.
Nolan Walker here for Data Pens. You may not know, but I own a software company, and we have a proprietary software called Data Pens, DATAPINS. You can search it at datapens.com. This is not white labeled. I actually own this piece of software, and I made it for you. It was made for contractors. You can actually take pictures of jobs, up to 6, make a caption about the material, the brand, the situation, the repairs, and post that back to your individual pages on your website, just like that. It's super simple. Anyone could use it. It also texts and emails your clients direct links to your reviews, so it helps reputation and reviews, which helps conversion and map placement. The geo coordinate gets grabbed by data pens, and Google can tell where you are. So instead of them just seeing reviews, they see all jobs or even estimates that you do. This vastly outperforms just getting reviews. Helps the map show up, helps organic keywords. And remember, those captions that you're putting in there help expand the keywords per page, and it's great regular content. I love it. We made it just for you. It is organic optimization on steroids for both your website, your rankings, and the map placement. Check out Data Pens. I think you'll be happy you did.
So I just talked to a guy on the way over here, and he was talking about getting the website done. And by the way, that guy that was older, that was a painter, his web guy had died. I didn't tell you that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So, and then he just quit. The guy had died.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
It's horrible and it's funny, yeah, but it's like, who used to laugh on that?
No, the reason it's weird to me, like uncomfortable laughter,
from Howard Stern. He would laugh at very horrible things.
Yes. The idea that web guy, webmaster, web design guy,
yeah,
has now been around long enough for someone doing it to have passed on, other than getting struck by lightning.
Not really comforting, considering that we've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, I've been doing it for 25 years.
But it's not the first time I've heard. Yeah, you're right. I'm hearing it more and more.
Yeah,
and my web guy died. I'm like, oh God, that's horrible. Yeah, it's like, no,
I feel the icy grip of death.
Yeah, people don't realize that it's actually difficult to do this stuff. And part of there's actually since we're talking about so much negative stuff, let me just throw this one in. So there's a meeting that we used to go to. We kind of, and not that we're always learning, but we got to the point to where we knew so much, we kind of quit going to this yearly meeting.
We're going to an annual conference, and every time people would come up and be giving us, "No, this is the latest thing this year," and we're like, "We've been doing that for 2 years
or more."
Yeah, or more.
Or more.
It's like, okay,
yeah. So and we finally got into the software business and everything, but there's a meeting at this meeting that we used to go to because it's such a unsung thing to do digital marketing for people. People think things like my map ranking's up because I did this and the web guy had nothing to do. It's a completely optimizable data point. I mean, it's just like it's optimized through your brand. Like we're 150% the reason that those things show up well.
Yeah.
And there's a panel, and I just
are you talking about the mental health panel?
Well, it's a suicide panel. It's a freaking suicide. There's so much suicide going on in digital marketing that they had a freaking panel for intervention at the conference. They still do it.
Yeah.
Thank God we don't work at one of those agencies.
I know a woman who, I met her at that conference, and she hasn't actually worked in marketing for a number of years because she had a massive mental breakdown.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's tried to dip her toe back in, but she keeps getting like discouraged, like screw that.
So I don't know, like you HVAC contractors, hug your web geek, you know.
we had an employee
yeah.
who interviewed at one point. She got called by a recruiter and she interviewed at another firm, and she came to me to talk about it. She goes, "I'm considering this." I'm like, "Okay, let's talk about it." She goes, "One thing bothered me a little bit," and I'm like, "Okay, what was it?" And she's like, "Well, they asked me in the interview, how do you handle burnout?" And I couldn't help it. I started laughing.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Why is that funny?" I said, "Because they're going to work you about 65 hours a week.
They put them on, yeah.
And they want to know in advance that you have a plan of how to get through that when they've wrung you out enough."
Yeah, so we've never actually talked about this in a podcast because nobody really wants to hear this.
Yeah.
But the nice thing about what we do here is that the software allows integration of proper content and signaling, and the industry is moving and changing on what Google accepts for signaling for the brand.
Right.
Without you being penalized. A lot of you guys might have content, by the way, and so you just put up a bunch of crappy blogs or you put up a ton of content, but it's really a big, huge website full of horrible content, really, that nobody
and by the way, horrible content does not necessarily mean badly written.
That's true.
It might read great. It might read like freaking Ernest Hemingway, but it's irrelevant because it's information that's repeated a billion other places.
100 blogs that nobody in their right mind wants to read.
Right.
And so you got this huge website that has this entirely irrelevant content, too much of it, tons of it, nobody in their right mind want to read it, and then you get reviews. And that's your brand online. And it's crap and it doesn't deserve to show up. And then you fall in ranking because an algorithmic change occurs. You don't know what happened. Well, so you need things like data pins to signal where you are around town, to write in expertise and experienced captions, and to I don't know what word did I use, to augment the content that is typically basic on the website, right? So you have a page for AC repair, but Google didn't know you do Linux air handlers and Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat replacement. And now they do, as you make captions from your technical perspective. That sort of signaling growth of content and GPS coordinates of jobs, unique photos, that's fantastic, right? So that's phenomenal content. And then the brand begins to pick up better signaling, and the pages inherently become a better place to send the Google user. They have a better experience there. In fact, the lady was looking for M30 Wi-Fi thermostat help, and you're talking about it with photos and a GPS coordinate that had occurred in their market.
Right.
So that helps. And then you think your map shows up, but you've got 20% of the words at best. You could just completely balloon the amount of keywords legitimately without writing a bunch of blog phony crud that nobody wants to read, by doing captions on data pins, datapins.com if anybody wants to look. Phenomenal evolution in programmatic software enhancement of your website. I mean, you're just not going to find anything better than that.
And we've talked about it before, but just to expand your point about expanding your keywords.
Yeah.
Is what we're talking about that is there's a thing that most people don't know is that fully half of all search, the billions of searches that occur every day, half of those are what Google refers to as low keyword volume. And what that means is weird specific shit like M31 Wi-Fi thermostat.
If there's two searches that one person makes, one's AC repair, and the next one is I need help programming my M30 Wi-Fi thermostat in Charlotte, NC.
Yeah.
That's the second one. And half of all of them are weird crap, and you miss all of that. Right. And it's low-hanging fruit that could be captured by getting that out onto your website properly. Now, if this just is slopped up onto a cruddy website, it's not going to work as well. There has to be some logical basis for you. You can't just string a content of the data pins on content into the ether and expect it to work well.
Yeah, it can't just be a list of keywords, can't be bullet lists or anything like that.
It's got to be, there has to be some structure to it. It has to be done properly. It has to make for a great user experience.
Right.
So, and that's why you need some content. Even if you don't get, you might have a Wi-Fi thermostat or just a thermostat page. You might have, indoor air quality page or furnace.
You might even have a Wi-Fi thermostat page.
You might.
But most people aren't going to talk about every brand that they service or everything.
And even if they went and tagged them all in bullet points, it's not good enough.
Right.
The algorithm knows that's not a good user experience, but what it is when they see photos of it, that it's down the road on the GPS coordinate wrapped in schema, digital hand race, and that they see that caption written right there. That's a really good thing. Then the user can go, aha, they definitely work on these M30 Wi-Fi thermostats in my market.
Right.
Instead of just some jackass bullet pointing every single thing there is.
Yeah.
And throwing
because that bullet point is just a list of stuff.
Right.
It's like that is you claiming you work on this. A pin done in data pins has the schema which tells the search engine we did this.
Right.
Not we do this, but we did it.
Right.
Like this, and this is an example of a time we did it and a place we did it.
Another way to look at data pins, a data pins page that's being built daily. The website, let's say, has 10 service pages and 10 city pages just for ease. And one page for AC repair, maybe it had several hundred words of content that's really bland. That needs to be there to validate that you perform the service for Google.
It's just introductory.
We're here for AC repair in Charlotte, NC.
Right.
And the title meta says, we provide AC repair in Charlotte, NC, pipe bar, ABC, HVAC. Right. And then Google's like, okay, fine. You've got 300 words that nobody in their right mind wants to read. They all want to blow their heads off. And then that's where
they need a mental health panel.
So the mental health panel, by the way, you got like somebody that got a degree in English, literally got a degree in English, and they're writing for you over and over again. So
about Wi-Fi thermostats,
HVAC companies, the same general jargon.
Yeah.
And so anyway, so now you have data pins, and you've done 100 pins with about 10 words per caption for AC repair, and now you have the validated service 100 times, whether a client left a review or not. They see that work was done, which by the way helps the map show up. And now they see 1,000 words of content that was added over, let's say, a year. And now inherent within the 1,000 words of content is this vast array of augmented keywords that are relevant to AC repair.
Right. 1,000 words of content, 1,000 more keywords maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
100 locations on
Easy.
a map.
Right.
Showing where you perform the service.
Right. So if you're going to show up for a particular type of brand or a particular type of repair, coil cleaning or something like that, now the map has the ability to show up.
Right.
So the map wouldn't have shown up before. They did not know that you did coil cleaning. They would not have stretched and thought that you would until you told them in a format that looked trustworthy.
Yeah. And these are searches, the low volume searches sometimes are things that until they have this information, the map pack will not show. Map pack doesn't show for every search.
Yeah.
It shows for a search where Google determines that their user's intent is to find a local service and to find someone who provides that particular thing. If nobody in the local area tells them they serve it, no map pack will show. But if you all of a sudden have these keywords due to pins, you will actually cause a map pack to appear.
Or better than that, just your knowledge graph shows up.
Yeah, we see that too. No map pack, but your knowledge graph. So someone searches for this, and then there's this array of links right here, and then over here there's this giant sidebar saying ABC HVAC.
So
and you look like the only choice.
Yeah, and so we help with all this stuff.
Hey there guys, Nolan Walker here for HVAC Webmasters. Glad you're listening to the podcast, but I'd like you to become a client. We're a digital marketing agency that have done this for 12 years. I don't think there's anybody better than us at this point in time. We will help you with your design, your code, your content, showing up as high as we can on Google ranking, your organic ranking, your map ranking, your reputation, your reviews. Our digital marketing agency will help you be the best possible online. We can help you with all of it, even paid. We even have a software company called DataPens that's proprietary. We made it for you guys. You can take 90 seconds and do a pin on each job. We call them data pins, and it'll grab the geo coordinate where you're located. It looks like a little red pin drop, but to Google it looks like a digital hand raise. This helps them see where you're working. So if someone doesn't give you a review, they've got this with photos of the job that count as unique content and a caption. Let's say it's Linux air handler replacement with Linux M30 Wi-Fi thermostat. This is additional content that's literally going to drop on the individual service and city pages on the website and expand your keyword search ability. It's crazy how cool DataPens is combined with the SEO and digital marketing agency services of HVACwebmasters.com. Guys, check us out. We'd love to hear from you.
Somebody called me the other day and said, "Hey, Nolan, you always say to call," so I called. It was a good call. It was a really quick call. I'm so happy to hear from the guy. He was in the middle of, it was a weird deal where he was, but the point is, if somebody has questions, we'll answer them. It was a quick call, 5-10 minutes. I told him what the pricing would be for him and addressed some problems we had. He's in a town of 5,000 with really no population around him. It was a weird deal. You don't find it much anymore.
Yeah.
But he wanted to grow.
What state was he in?
I think it was Ohio.
Huh.
I want to say, no, I don't remember, but there was literally, yeah, because I remember seeing Cleveland and Akron.
Okay.
It was Cleveland, Akron, and he was over here, but he was far enough away. Once you go like that direction over to the west side, there's nothing out there.
Huh.
And he was too far from the other ones to get it. But I went over all this and explained it to him. Now, it's pretty simple for me to find out why there's a problem with MapPack and other things. I had somebody the other day, I talked him off the ledge. It's actually that lead you shot over from the name that shall not be mentioned anymore in the office. Baltimore, anyway, that they were moving from, they had a Myrtle Beach location, and the other one was like 4.5 hours away. Okay. They're going to throw it onto the same website. That'll kill your map packing faster than you can snap your head around, is to not be local anymore.
Yeah.
So that some people screw their map ranking up just by adding another area that's nowhere near their area.
Right.
And like completely jacking it. And I was like, these people didn't want to pay. And I was like, now you're going to move to another area. It's like, what are you going to, and then she's like, well, we're going to tag it on the other one. I said, I wouldn't shoot the one who brung me to the dance if I were you. You're gonna
Until you have maxed out the market. We hear this a lot. People attempting to grow their business by opening new locations a little bit away or a couple of hours away or whatever. You need to maximize your current market before you expand to another market.
And when you expand, there's rules. If you become not local, HVAC doesn't have this problem as much. Most HVAC is very located. They can't afford to have multiple spots like that. But if you splinter your market, you'll lose organic. Yeah. Organic being mapping and keywords and everything not paid on Google, which is over 70% of search for home service items. But anyway, whatever the weird situation is, we'd love to help with it. Most of the time we can't help. That guy was one of the first people I turned away in a while. I said, I don't know about this location. This is a rough location. I said, you could try it, or maybe he'd think about moving that location.
Yeah.
Because nothing wrong with being out there, unless you're okay with the amount of business you're getting. Because he's already.
Yeah, but your market is pre-capped And
guess how many calls a week? This is a good way to look at this. Is interesting stuff, actually. I said, how many calls a week do you get off of it? He said, because I didn't even look. I said, you're in pack 3, right? He said, I am. And I was like, well, there's nothing exciting about that. So don't be, don't be proud of yourself. I assume you're in pack 3 because you're in town of 5,000 people. Nobody hardly in the right mind startup, company there, right? So he's in there with nobody around it.
Yeah.
And it was like 5,000 people and get 1 call a week. I said, well, for one thing, you don't get as many calls as you think you could, even though you're in pack 3, because you're missing all your content. So we talked about all that. I said, you probably could go to 3 calls a week. But then I said, move to a town with 100,000 people divided by 5. That's 20. So you get 20 calls a week potentially, or maybe 60 calls a week if you were maximized on keywords that were able to show up in map ranking.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure the town of 5,000 with nothing but towns of 5,000 or less all the way around it is going to do it. And he started mentioning these towns further away. I'm like, they're too far. They're not.
How far were they?
Well, Akron and Cleveland.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like little towns.
No, the little towns. It was. I mean, he was really out there. I don't blame him. It looked like a nice country spot. But anyway,
live there, but you don't necessarily want to have a business there.
It's a good way to look at it. You don't really. People ask me often, how many calls will I get? I don't own Google. I got people that get calls every 5 minutes. They get called. People get a call a day, and they're all happy, or a couple of calls a day, and they're happy. But the larger the market, the more potential for phone calls.
Yeah, obviously.
So if it's 1 call, but people don't think about it.
True.
If you get 5,000, you go to 100,000, you got 20 times more, 1 call to 20 calls potentially. If you maximize your keywords, maybe it'd be up to 50 or 60 per week. That's a nice sized business. It's a lot better than getting 1 to 3 calls.
Yeah.
I don't think the 3 calls, that's what I told him. I said, I don't know what will make you happy because it's such a rural market. I almost never get a phone call anymore where the market's so rural that we can't help them significantly. But that market was too rural, and proximity has a big thing to do with it.
Yeah.
Some of you guys moved out into the sticks and you moved your map location. Now you lost your calls. You didn't actually lose your ranking. You're ranking properly where you are in the sticks, but you lost your primary market ranking.
And we've had clients do that, be in a good location,
right,
buy a house outside town, and then decide they don't want to pay the rent on the office and move their business location to the house, and then
it sucks. It sucks because sometimes you don't get a second chance in life on these things. You got to go back. It's like, hey, I did so well with Google, the best free platform ever for small business to make money, that I bought a ranch, put this thing in the R-panel building in the back.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, and then lose all your ranking that got you to be able to buy the ranch.
Yeah. And
then you don't have any business.
Because you're now not where all the people are.
Yeah. There's a lot of intricacies to the map rankings. If you've got a problem with it, we can help. We're not going to press ourselves onto you for sales on it. I mean, we'd love to have the business, but we'll answer a lot of questions. I gave that guy some good information. He's going to sleep on it, look at his options, and decide what he wants to do. He probably needs to move to a more populated market. But bar that, you guys call us, like and subscribe. We love helping with this sort of thing. Almost every single time we can help somebody and get it going. That was a rare one. But he was happy to speak to me. It's a nice call. But I like hearing from you guys. Call us, and we'll see you next time around.
Take it easy.